Hey gang, in this little video I'll show you the highlights of my day out hiking on the Seven Sisters Cliffs. I'll also tell you what to know before to go, as well as little snippets of local history. We took a train, early morning, from London Victoria towards Seaford in West Sussex. If you're based in London but south of the river, you could also depart from Clapham Junction. We arrived in Seaford, where it was a little bit busy on the platform. This was filmed on the last weekend of June, to give you an idea. The plan was to start in Seaford and finish in Eastbourne, and then take a train back to London from Eastbourne. You could also do it the other way around. To give you an idea of the train fare, we paid just under £30 each. The town of Seaford was featured recently in a lovely movie called Summerland. It's about a boy, an evacuee from London through the Second World War, and his guardian. The fantastic actress Jessica Gunning is in it. For the ones that don't know her, she plays Martha in the Netflix hit Baby Reindeer. And for those of you that follow my live streams on YouTube, we spoke about Seaford recently, when we talked about the Croydon poisoning of 1828 and 29. You might remember Grave Duff, the lady that got away with murder. Well, she moved to Seaford after leaving Croydon. I'll leave the link to that video in the description. The beautiful white cliffs of the Seven Sisters are made with sedimentary chalk limestone. The rock is made of thousands of years old marine algae and little marine animal remains. A reminder that the British Isles were once underwater. That rock can break, so you're not meant to stay too close to the edge. A good 5 meters distance is recommended to avoid the selfie tragedies. Those beautiful white cliffs have also been featured in another movie that I'm sure you might have heard of, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It is here that Harry uses the port key for the first time to get to the Quidditch World Cup. About the name Seven Sisters, well, you've got 7 hills, and there's a vague legend about 7 sisters once living on each of the hills. Now, of course, you want to take good shoes for the hike, which is, I think, 21 kilometers. It's about 5 hours. But you probably also want to grab some flip-flops or some water shoes, because you have to cross a river. After finishing the first hill on the first plain, called Cuckmere Haven, you'll have to cross the Cuckmere River. You might want to check the tide table, because at low tide you can cross. You'd get a bit wet, but you can cross. But at high tide, it's a bit more complicated. There is a little bridge, but I think it's about a mile inland, so that would add a little time to your journey. In the 17th and 18th centuries, a lot of smugglers were using this quiet coastline to illegally import some goods, tea, rum, sugar, tobacco. They'd be hanged and placed on a gibbet here. Talking about backgrounds for movies, those beautiful white cliffs apparently are often used to pass as the White Cliffs of Dover in period dramas, because they're quite free from modern architecture. Each individual hill and valley actually has a name. You have Havenbrough, Shortbottom, Shortbrough, Lamkiln Bottom, Robrow, Rowbottom, Brass Point, Gap Bottom, Flagstaff Point, Flagstaff Bottom, Flat Hill Bottom, Bailey's Hill, Michael's Din, Wenthill Brow. Then you get to Birling Gap. That's where you have a cafe. So you can use the toilets, buy yourself a cup of coffee, and go and check the Belltout Lighthouse. It was built by a philanthropist known as Mad Jack Fuller in 1832. He was desperately trying to prevent those shipwrecks. I think there's a little bed and breakfast in there now. That lighthouse was a bit too far up the cliffs, and it became redundant when they built the new one straight ahead in the distance here. For those of you that were born before me, you might remember that little lighthouse. It was used in a video clip Close to Me from The Cure. Apparently David Bowie also used it in a video clip. We were talking about dangerous selfies. You'll see a lot of those people going behind the line just to get the perfect shot. We are now on Beachy Head. Beachy Head probably sounds like an insult with my accent. I still don't fully know how to tell the difference between beach and beach. So this is the Beachy Head lighthouse. It was very much needed. Apparently, since the 16th century, 25 ships have wrecked around here. Despite the loss of lives, though, sometimes wrecks were a source of income. Looters would gather to steal the cargo. There was one particular ship in 1747, the Nymphen America. It crashed into the rocks. Apparently the locals made so much money out of it that they built Corsica Hall in Seaford with that income. We are now in Eastbourne, so that's where you can go for a little swim and then catch a train back towards London Victoria. I hope you enjoyed that little video. If you wanted to see a bit more from me, do check out my live section. Most of what I do on YouTube is actually live streaming. Bye!